So my physical height is 5'9", but I identify as 7'1". I've always felt taller than other people.
Wokeness and delusion are like two peas in a pod. Brace yourself to see these two elements in action. This level of wokeness really does something to the brain. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and hit that subscribe button to not miss more moments just like these.
I feel like people are what they are born with, and they can be whoever they want to be.
What if, like, I wanted to be black? Could I do that? Because that's what I want him to be.
I don't think... No.
No, I don't think so, but like...
Why? It's what I want to be. What I like.
Yeah.
Accept me.
It's a valid point.
As always, it sounds like a smart stance until a little common sense is introduced. Maybe we should all become carrots, lady. Now on to the million-dollar question. What is a woman? Let's hear what these species had to say.
Anyone who wants to identify themselves as a woman.
Oh man. Anyone who wants to identify as a woman.
A woman is a biological female or someone who completely transitions into a woman.
Biological female, but I also agree because there's women, but there's also trans women.
Socially, I think they can be. If you're presenting fully, it doesn't matter what's down there, that's, I guess, you and your partner's business, but if you're presenting fully, then...
Can you be a black man?
Can I?
Yeah.
No.
Can you center up a little?
Why not?
Because I'm not.
What if you present yourself as being one?
I mean, if I fully committed?
That would just be blackface.
Yeah, like if I literally could become one, sure. Like, all I'm saying is that if...
What do you mean, become one?
What do you mean by that?
Okay, wait. What I'm saying is that if there is a person or a trans woman just going about their day, whatever, and you didn't know that they were a trans woman, I would say socially that they could be considered a woman just for the sake of just having it easy. I'm not gonna...
So if I showed up at a party and I pulled a rabbit out of a hat, does that mean that socially I could do magic? Or would I just be presenting an illusion?
I think a little bit of both. If you could trick people. I'm not saying that it's not an illusion.
If you can trick people, right, if you can trick them. So it wouldn't change the fact of the matter, it would be a trick.
No,
So
correct.
if you presented yourself as a black man, would that be the fact of the matter or would it be a trick?
It would, I guess, be a trick.
Gotcha.
I can't physically become a black man.
Oh, then how come a man can physically become a woman ever? Or a woman physically become a man?
I think surface level they can. Like they can.
Well, what does that mean though? That just means that they're tricking you, right?
Yes, definitely. Just tricking
So
you.
what you're saying is that there are some people out there who can trick you into believing a thing which is not true.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then if that's the case, then I agree.
Oof, don't you just love when they accidentally say the truth? Well, we agree too. It's all one big trick. Did you know that wokies do not like J.K. Rowling? The Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. Well, watch this.
So these guys want to talk about J.K. Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
She's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, do you still like her work despite her bigoted opinions?
So let's get specific though. Let's define bigoted opinions. What opinions are bigoted? We're going to treat this as a thought experiment. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what way to think. The whole point is to learn how to think, not what to think.
Yeah.
So when you say bigot, you're starting with the conclusion that given her bigoted opinions.
Yeah.
So first let's start with, does she have bigoted opinions? So when you say bigoted opinions.
She has had a history of being extremely transphobic, I've heard.
Hey, you've heard. So what? Can you give me an example?
If you look at her Twitter, I think you could see a few things. If you want, I could try and find
see
something.
See if you can find one.
So, one of these tweets that she came out with in 2019, she said, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real."
So you find that bigoted? What do you find about
It was deemed transphobic. I myself,
Do you find that transphobic yourself?
I don't really have an opinion on it, but I'm just going with what a lot of other people have said.
So let's pause there. Let's not go with what other people are saying. Let's try and learn how to critically think. So let's analyze the tweet ourselves. So that statement, do you see anything problematic? Disregarding other people's.
It is so obvious that these people have no opinion of their own. That's not all. This smart educator absolutely owned this conversation.
So that statement, do you see anything problematic? Disregarding other people's opinions.
She did try and pin some things on a specific group of people.
Where does she do that? Can you read that?
But force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So when I hear that, I'm interpreting that as meaning if a woman says that, saying that there is a difference between men and female and then being attacked as transphobic, I think that's what she's saying by attacking someone for stating that sex is real.
That is exactly what she's saying.
Is that transphobic to you?
So, to me, no. Stating that sex is real is not transphobic. It's just a fact of life. It exists.
So is there anything you disagree with in that tweet?
In that tweet, I can't really see anything that I myself disagree with, but I can see why some people would think, oh, this is offensive. We can't have that here or something, because there's an apology tweet.
Let's read that. What did she say there? I haven't read that.
I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it is hateful to say so.
You see anything problematic there?
She's apologizing, so no, not really. If I could read it again.
It sounds like a very similar statement as what she was just saying. She's basically saying, like, I have nothing, to me, this is what I interpret it as, I have nothing against someone being trans.
Exactly.
It's your life, but you just don't get to impose on you can live how you want, I can live how I want.
Yeah.
And let's all,
Exactly.
How refreshing is it to actually think for yourself and not just go with the crowd? Dear Wokey, please and please, just take a moment to think. It's so much better. Let's take a look at another non-thinker, shall we?
LGBTQ.
What's up?
You heard me.
I actually didn't.
LGBTQ.
I give you the mic, and we hear what you have to say. And then I'm going to answer you, and you'll hear what I have to say, what everybody else here has to say. Does that sound like a good deal?
I don't need the mic. Yes. I can speak louder.
Well, stand up, tell me your name, and state your question.
My name's Alexis Case, and I grew up here.
Okay.
In this town. LGBTQ is a serious situation in this world today. There are children that get bullied because they are gay, they are lesbian, they are transgender. I don't need that.
Okay. You're welcome to have it if you want.
I don't need it.
You get to ask your question, but after that, you're going to hear me give my answer. So I'll let you finish.
What is your stance on LGBTQ?
Thank you for your question. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to go into a level of depth that I don't usually go into on a campaign trail, but I'm going to do it because you asked the question. You deserve an answer. LGBTQIA, there's so many letters, they've just added a plus at the end. That's where we are now. What's going on? So the same movement, because if we're going to call that one thing, let's play it fair. The same movement that said that the sex of the person you're attracted to is hardwired on the day you're born. That was the premise of the gay rights movement, for it to count as a civil right. That movement is now saying that your own biological sex is totally fluid over the course of your life. You can't believe both those things. Well, I think I'm going to get to a deeper sense. That's where I was about a year or two ago, but I think there's something deeper going on, and I'll tell you what it is. So the same movement, and by the way, let's think about the women's rights movement in this country, which said there's many ways to be a woman. You can have long hair, short hair, you can wear a skirt, you can wear jeans. Now says that Oh, if actually you want to behave a certain way, that means you're a man. So I think that the hypocrisies go all the way down. And I'll tell you what's going on. You can't believe both of those things at the same time if you're operating according to principles of sheer logic. But you can if you're adopting a faith, a cult-like belief system. So this is controversial for me to say, but I'm going to tell you what I think. I believe that transgenderism specifically is a mental health disorder. I believe it's a mental health condition. No. We're going to finish this. This is good. We have to have open conversation in this country. But I don't think the compassionate thing to do.
Health disorder.
Well,
it's how they feel.
Well, let me. If I'm going to give you a chance to respond if you'd like, but we can't have an open debate in this country if we're not able to state our views.
That's how they feel.
Well, the truth must have made his, her, or their chair uncomfortable. Luckily, it did not end there. There's a bit of a happy ending.
Not able to state our views.
That's how they feel.
That's how they feel. And you know what? I'll tell you a story, and you deserve to hear this. I met two young women in this race about 6 months ago. Their names were Chloe and Katie, two young women. They're in their 20s now. Both of them had their breasts cut off. One of them had her uterus removed. They're in their 20s. They regret that decision. One of them wants to have kids. She'll never have kids. The other one will never breastfeed her children. They'll never be the same because they had that done to them when they were teenagers. So no, when a young person shows up and says, my gender doesn't match my biological sex, they're asking for help. They happened to them when one girl was 13 when it happened to her. She's in her 20s now and regrets it. This is what's wrong in this country. We will look back at this and say this was barbaric that we allowed this to happen in this country. That is not compassion. That is cruelty. And so I don't think the right thing to do is, I'm not going to villainize those people. You don't villainize people who are going through suffering, but you have to be willing to say when a kid shows up and says, my gender doesn't match my biological sex, you have to be able to say, what else is going wrong at home? What else might be going wrong at school? Get to the bottom of what's going on. Help that person with compassion, with dignity.
A handshake. Another Wokey who saw reason. Victory. Will the next Wokey be the same?
Percent of trans people, and it says, at the end of the film, there's no long-term studies of transition regret, but from what we do have, 99% of trans people do not go on to regret their transition, right?
Do you know who that study was done by?
I don't remember, and
So his name is Dr. Jack Turbin, and he's actually funded by AbbVie. AbbVie is a pharmaceutical company that gives money or does create cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers. Jack Turbin is essentially paid by people who benefit from you being on cross-sex hormones. And so he's the one that's put that study out, and he's the one that's given you that statistic. So it's not to say that I'm not negating who you are or who you believe you are, but that's not a true statistic.
Well, it's safe to say whoever is under that mask must not bother about the body of articles. They just skim the headlines and hurry to a microphone to let us know.
Would you like me to put my sign up high?
Sure.
Save the planet! Save the cows! And the vegan! Upcharge now! Save the planet! Save the cows! And the vegan! Upcharge now! Save the planet! Save the cows! And the upcharge now! Save the planet!
For some reason, these Wokies were mad at Starbucks for not being vegan, and my guy across the street had a sign saying, soy milk sucks. Free speech, free country.
When you harp on your right to distinguish between men and women, are you afraid that you're going to be attracted to trans women?
I'm not.
You, sir? Are you positive? Why is it that you harp on your right to distinguish between men and women? If you can always tell, why is it so hard?
Well, because it's not even merely that you're putting on a dress, it's that you and people who identify as transgender are infringing upon rights and spaces that properly belong to women. So when you ask me, why do you care about this issue? The reason is because we live in society and we have political rights, and also because we care for the truth.
This biological male in a dress somehow believes that standing against the insanity that trans women are allowed to do in women's world would somehow make you attracted to trans women. Didn't they used to just call you transphobic? Now it's a secret crush. Sheesh. Talk about being out of touch with reality and too in love with Wattpad plots.
Black people have rightly said they don't want to be referred to as the N-word. All decent people respect that wish and don't use language that minority communities find offensive. And I think that's simply what trans people are also asking. Clearly, as someone who grew up in the 1970s and saw the National Front march through immigrant areas using inflammatory language against black and Asian people, terrorizing those people, which did spill over into violence, attacks on Asian homes and shops, temples and mosques. I don't want to see a repeat of that.
To move this a little and say that the words he, him for a man are just the very ordinary words. They're not the equivalent of the N-word. I think the equivalent of the N-word.
Whoever this woman is, we hope her favorite morning beverage is always ready before she wakes up. It gets even better. Notice how cricket sounds oozes out of that man? Yeah, that's what happens when logic meets stupid.
What formal education do you have?
Plenty.
I mean, formal education.
If you're going to argue from authority, that's a logical fallacy. Tell me why I'm wrong. Don't tell me how many degrees you have.
Don't ask me to change the conversation.
I'm actually, I would argue I'm more informed because I didn't go to college and I've traveled the world and I've met with world leaders and I've read many books. So tell me, how am I oppressive? Can you name one example of how I'm oppressive?
I can name a lot of examples.
Can you name one? Name one example of how I'm oppressive because you just said it. Well, no, they just don't have facts. Can you tell me one time that I've been wrong about anything I've said?
I had no idea. Thank you for informing me.
Anytime. Maybe if you didn't go to college, you would learn more.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right.
Get a degree if that's what you desire. You just need to understand that you need to apply yourself beyond the walls of a classroom to be a balanced individual. You can be academically intelligent and societally moronic. Need an example? This formally educated young man right here.
The reason why you cannot eat meat is because 1, you're gonna get cancer. 2, it's just not good for you. You should have more plants in your life, okay? And that looks fake, so I don't know why you eat it. Also, why are we killing animals?
Meat is the healthiest thing you can eat. Animal products are the healthiest things you can eat. Eggs, red meat, it's not gonna give you cancer. That's been debunked several times.
Tell me!
It's just completely not true. It's just categorically false. And this is the most nutrient-dense food. I got liver right here. B vitamins, vitamin A. What plant food is going to give you this many nutrients?
Okay, you're talking about nutrients?
That's what health is.
Get yourself some spinach, broccoli, like something.
That will give you vitamin K, but is it going to give you B vitamins and vitamin A?
Get you B12.
It's not going to give you anywhere near as much as liver.
Okay, go ahead.
So how is liver bad?
It's gross.
Aren't you convinced that vegans think meat eaters just straight up tear into steak like a lion in the zoo? The term balanced diet must have been banished from vegan university. Also, how do you make your arguments about nutrients, but you don't know what contains what? TikTok must have been her source of information.
Ironic that a white man is wearing a woman for Trump and a feminist for Trump when I consider myself a feminist. And
did you just assume my gender? You said white man.
Okay, I see your point.
How do you know I'm not a woman?
I see your point.
You need to check your white privilege, your white female privilege, I think.
Everyone's pronouns and identification should be affirmed. How dare she not ask about his gender identity? I guess in an argument then, they just assume their opposition is a straight white male. Flip the script and watch their rehearsed lines crumble.
I want.
Did you damage his sign?
I have it on video.
No,
I can see that you guys have it on video. So what's gonna happen? All respect.
So here's the damage.
So are we pressing?
Yes. Destruction of private property. Yep. After good behavior, 6 months in community service, the judge will drop it.
I'm a full-time student. I'm coming back here in the summertime.
Nope. Next time you'll think not to do it.
You can't find any peace in your heart and understanding.
I will let.
This is insane.
No, what was insane is what you did for no reason.
What is that your friend is in a bunny suit and you're
Okay.
outside of a liberal arts school inciting you?
I'm on a public street and a public sidewalk on a public street.
I don't understand this.
This is probably the third or fourth flag that's been damaged.
I'm in my studies and my future, though. Don't you think it kind of gets in the way of like me growing and becoming as an individual?
Teachable moment.
What is a teachable moment?
Right now.
What about your president that's literally getting indicted right now? What about that?
Oh, for what, the false charges? I'll tell you.
She destroyed his sign and he involved the law. Everyone is using their right to do whatever they want, but she suddenly remembered that peace was an option. Sadly, when you play around, you find out.
In the last 5 years I've attended city council meetings, there's never been metal detectors, there's never been more cops. The only reason you're doing it is because people actually don't care if you guys don't like them, and they're actually resisting, so you want to criminalize them. So regardless of whether you elect people into office, they'll backstab you, they'll let you die, and for that reason, you guys want to criminalize us with metal detectors, we'll see you at your house.
Well, that was harsh and thoughtless. But guess what? The law always comes through.
Ms. Patel, that was a threat, what you said at the end, and so the officers are going to escort you out.
Next time, think about your words before they fly out your month, ma'am.
A deputy public defender entered not guilty pleas on Patel's behalf to 8 counts of threatening a public official and 10 counts of making terroristic threats.
Basically, we just trying to get him to understand where everybody's coming from.
And where are you coming from?
I told you, I don't know about this. I told you, I don't know.
At a Free Palestine protest / Pride parade, this reporter goes around trying to understand people's views on the issue. And are we really shocked by this response? They never know anything. Somebody makes a post and they all flock to make some noise.
Do you want to talk about sort of transitioning or anything like that, or like what people can do?
I never transitioned because I was born a woman.
No, of course you're a woman, of course.
I was born a woman.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not here challenging that at all. We're like out here. The whole thing is like being proud and it's like supporting.
Trans woman any less of a woman?
No, you are a woman. That's what I'm saying.
No. Does it make a trans woman any less of a woman?
No, you are 100% a woman.
Is a trans woman any less?
No, 100%. All women are women.
This reporter asked this woman about her supposed transition, and she did not seem very pleased by the assumption. Isn't that confusing? If you support something, shouldn't you be proud of being associated with it? Man, oh man.
2 bowls here, right? One is full of vegetables and one is full of meat. Let her go.
Oh, she's obviously gonna go, obviously. Oh, you little...
Yes.
I didn't swear.
Did you know dogs could become vegan? Well, this dog owner claimed to have groomed her dog into veganism. Now, every claim should be proven right or wrong, and it's no surprise that this one was wrong. Maybe we should raise carnivorous bunnies next.
The wealthy should pay their fair share.
Yes, wealthy should pay their fair share.
What is a fair share? What percentage?
So you're saying that you're saying that they're paying their fair share is what you're saying?
No, I'm asking what percentage is a fair share?
Their fair share, the same, if a third of my money is going to taxes, then I think a third of their money should be going to taxes. It does. Well, it does.
I'm trying to understand because you realize the effective tax rate on the poor is less than it is on the rich, right?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not the poor. I'm very close to that line, but I'm not the poor.
Okay, so the effective tax rate on the middle class is less than it is on the rich, correct? What fair share would you like to change the tax rate to on the wealthiest what percentage of Americans so it's a fair share?
So let's say the wealthy 1% could pay, let's say if they paid, let's just give them 45%.
First, this activist believed that the rich were somehow paying less taxes than the poor. Then, when confronted with the facts, she started to stutter. As if that's not bad enough, her last resort was that the rich pay almost half of their taxable income. Empathy and tolerance must only be for the ones we choose to like, no?
Is there a question in there or a speech? Yes. You gotta ask a question, buddy. I know you wrote this out in your notes, but ask a question. Let's go.
How do you think other people who, with your beliefs, respond to the fact
that your hateful and harmful rhetoric costs the lives of queer children every single day, on average, every 45 seconds.
Okay, so this is just going to be a pure boogeyman. You're pretending that someone committed suicide because of Candace Owens. You've got no facts here. You're just going, it's your rhetoric that's causing all of this. When in reality, you want to talk about the tea. I sat down with a man named Walt Heyer who was convinced to chop his penis off after your community told him that there was something wrong with him because he had confusion. Why was he trans? Because he was molested when he was 4 years old by his uncle. Rather than being sat down and spoken to by a psychologist, he was handed hormone pills, and he eventually chopped off his penis. Walt Heyer is now 80 years old. He detransitioned, and he does a lot of work talking about why it is that he runs a charity, okay, an actual charity that is dedicated to sex change regret, of people who have changed their parts and can't go back. And you know what happens? Suicide rates go up after they transition. After they transition. And Candace Owens wasn't the one that chopped their dicks off.
After reading the lengthy essay he has prepared, this wokey finally asks a question. Pregnant Candace Owens is unmatched, and she's absolutely right. There's nothing wokies love more than to pull victim statistics out of thin climate change destroyed air.
It's basically a law for an officer to pull me over and ask for my papers. But I've never even been to Mexico.
Okay, well, I think people should be asked for their papers regardless of the skin color.
So there we go. Here's white privilege.
Why is that white privilege?
Okay, here we go.
How's that white privilege?
Here we go. Who are they going to ask for their papers, me or you?
I get asked for papers all the time when I get pulled over. Yeah, I can show you my pile of driver's
Do you get asked to prove that you're a citizen of the United States?
Hold on a second. First of all, I get asked for my driver's license all the time when I get pulled over. In fact, every time I get pulled over, I get asked for my driver's license, okay? So, but here's the one thing. Hold on. Do you really think that you're being pulled over just because of the color of your skin?
Dude, it's happened many times.
Hey, guess what? I get pulled over too.
You're never gonna know it because you don't look like me, man.
Wait, hold on.
You're never gonna have to know my struggles.
Wait, I mean, this is the problem. I'm just gonna give you a piece of advice. Honestly, you complimented me and Candace Owens. You're looking at the world as a victim, okay? You're looking at the world as if there's systemic racism and the evil white man that's trying to crush you. It's a lie. It's a lie that is designed to keep you down. It's a lie that is designed to try and disempower you.
It looks like a certain someone has watched too many movies.
No, non lo picchiare, dai. Non lo picchiare.
Oh!
Now, do we feel bad, or was this just a long overdue consequence? Well, crazy actions call for an equally crazy reaction. Anyway, get them some Band-Aids.
Well, I mean, it's obvious you don't care, but why don't you care? Are you feminine? Are you feminized? Are you a feminist? No? Are you feminine? Are you a fem? Is that what you want? Are you a fem? No, I'm asking you.
I'm not answering you because you're a fucking loser.
I'm asking you. You said that F masculinity. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because if this is masculinity, fuck that.
What, intelligence? Being able to talk to people by themselves instead of having to be around a crowd of people?
A loser.
A loser? Why am I a loser?
Because you're homophobe.
It's funny because you try to act like, and try to come off as an intellectual. All you have are slogans. All you have are rotes. All you know how to do is parrot certain things that you were told to parrot. You have no independent thought. You have no actual thing going up upstairs. All you do is just repeat the same things over and over again because you have no original thought. Doesn't that concern?
That has to hurt more than a soccer punch. But was a lie ever told?
Pretty good. Remember me?
No.
No? You don't remember me at all? Steven Crowder at all? No, not familiar?
No.
This is you threatening to slash my tires here.
Oh my God, you need
remember
to
this?
chill out.
Slashing my tires, and actually, funny enough, also the Robert E. Lee statue seems you helped to fade.
We're trying to work.
Let me ask you, why do you think it's okay to threaten to slash someone's tires?
Okay, is there any petition anywhere that legalizes doing this to the keyboard warriors?
Hey.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just do your protest on the pedestrian sidewalk, will you?
Are you voting for Trump? Yep. White supremacist. How? How can you say that? How can I say if you vote for Donald Trump, you're a white supremacist? How? How? Because you support that man in office.
That's not an argument. I'm gonna need proof that makes me a white supremacist. You're gonna have to break down the argument.
It's not my job to say that.
You just accused me of being a white supremacist. You should be able to back that up.
Are you voting for Donald Trump?
I sure am.
That's my proof.
Are you voting for Joe Biden?
Yes, I am.
Then you're a pedophile.
No.
Yes, you are.
Pedophile.
You're a pedophile.
If you can't take the heat, get out of the hot kitchen. This Wokey was very interested in labeling the female reporter, and the reporter did the very same. If you can dish it out, you should be able to take it.
It doesn't matter. I'm defending you, little pussy. I'm defending pussy, little women. Go f*** yourself. You little
this? Have you got this?
A little bit. You can't even come.
LOL. Just LOL.
You're hurting me. You're hurting me. Ow! 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 Ow!
Why is it making that sound? Anyway, that's just another person that got what they deserved.
He stopped.
What's going to replace your glasses? They're made of plastic.
Maybe. I don't know what they're made out of.
They are. Your water bottle in front of you. That's plastic.
Great.
Your cell phone there. Is it plastic?
The cases.
The components made out of it's not from plastic. They are. The clothes you have on, I guarantee have plastic in it. The shoes you have on your feet, the soles of those shoes are plastic. So you use plastic. Everybody here is depending on plastic. So if you want to end it, then quit using it. If you believe it, then live it then.
Do you ever wonder who comes up with the next protest cause for these people? Because it's obvious that they just really like to talk a lot, but don't actually know anything.
It's a woman.
What is a woman?
It's your mama.
That's right.
You that confused? Let me come and watch it. I'll tell you. It sure ain't your daddy.
That's right. Go ahead. That's right.
What is a woman? Now that transgender want to take away the title mother from the women.
Whoa.
Yeah, all you women that got babies, they don't want the women now to be called mothers. They want them to be called baby carriers.
What?
You know, like you're a freight liner. Baby carriers. And you know these dumb, ignorant congressmen is considering it.
Your mama. That's right.
President Biden joining in on the conversation. We didn't know what a woman. We didn't know what a woman is. A woman is your mama.
Wasn't that just a refreshing watch? Now let's go back to the next delusional person.
Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. She's gonna eat it. Did you say?
She's gonna eat it. LMAO.
Did you just put a cigarette into his mouth? That's... Oh, it's the video, if that's okay. I'm not judging. You're both consenting adults. Can I please capture your interactions? Thank you. Very kind of you. I wish everyone was as cool as this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have two consenting adults.
Okay, that has to be illegal somehow. What alphabet is for the kinky wokies again?
You know that less than 10% of rapes are actually reported.
Okay, where's that?
To the cops.
Where's that?
It's from all of the women's organizations. You can look it up online. You can find it through the socialized organizations that study rape. I participate with an organization that works as a rape crisis center. No, based on the unofficial reports, the third-party reporting, and the direct reports, this is not a secret that about 10% of rapes are reported.
So how do you know 10% of rapes are reported if the others aren't?
Because those people call the women's centers, they ask for help, they seek medical attention.
Statistics needs to be reintroduced into the curriculum.
What a brilliant idea. What do you mean just stop oil? All your stuff is made out of oil, you idiots. Your clothes, these jackets, they're all made out of oil. What the hell are you doing here making a nuisance of yourself? It's a joke. What a joke. What are you doing here? Get off the road. You're wasting everybody's time and petrol. All these guys, their engines are running all the time, wasting more bloody oil than nutters. What is this made out of? What are your clothes made out of? How did your clothes get here? They got here by oil. What are you doing? This makes no sense at all. Just stop oil. You haven't thought about this. If you want to stop oil, you need to stay at home and go and live in the forest.
Hear that? If you want to stop oil, you need to stay at home or go live in the forests.
I'm getting upset about the fact that you keep having these barbecues. You know full well that I'm a vegan and I have very strong principles about protecting animals and our environment. And I feel like with you, you're just kind of taking, and that smell that comes across to my garden is making me feel ill.
You chose to be a vegan, not me. I mean, you
don't need to talk to me like that.
I am being considerate. So I'm only having 3 barbecues.
Oh right, that's being considerate, is it? Well, that's affecting my mental health if I'm really completely honest.
This very neighborly vegan decided to police what cuisine her next door neighbor was allowed to make in his backyard. The smell of good barbecue is bad for an already deteriorating mental health, apparently.
It just makes you a dumbass hoe.
Me?
Yeah, you.
How's that make me that?
What do you mean?
Why does it make me that for not kissing you?
Because anyone here would.
Really?
Yeah, I bet. Watch this.
Alright, go get a guy, prove it to me.
Okay, wait. Watch this.
A shot of reality with a dash of humility for this young lady who believes any random stranger would gladly kiss her.
You know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true.
What better way to end this video? So what are you? Woker, wokest, or a loser? What a ride! Would you like to watch more videos like this? You're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you are always in the loop.